Cumberland Valley encompasses 103 square miles and includes Hamden Township, Middlesex Township, Silver Spring Township, and Monroe Township. At this time, there are 7 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. Cumberland Valley School District both attracts and retains families who believe in the value of an outstanding public education for their children. For that, we are very proud. The district services nearly 9,000 students. Approximately 80% of the student population is Caucasian, 11% is Asian, and the remaining small percentages is divided among other ethnicities. Economically disadvantaged families make up 18% of the population, and 2% of the population are English language learners. Special education accounts for 11.3% of the enrolled students, and 4.5% of students are classified as gifted.
Curriculum at Cumberland Valley, we follow a curriculum framework that was based on this book, Rigorous Curriculum Design, by Larry Ainsworth. And we start the process, we follow a curriculum cycle, and as each subject area or department is ready to rewrite curriculum, we follow the same steps. We begin with having a look at all of the standards, and we prioritize those standards. And then after we prioritize the standards, we unwrap them, which means we try to figure out what kids should know and do for each standard. After we do that, we set our scope and sequence and plan which standards are taught in each unit. Then we move on to writing our assessments. We write our assessments before the unit plan because we want our assessments to be solely based on the standards that we are teaching. Last, we finish our unit plan, and this is the piece that's really for teachers. It includes resources and live links for teachers to use to help them teach those priority standards.
When anyone asks me about our curriculum, I always go to our curriculum guides that are given to the teachers by grade level. And in this case, for our math curriculum, you can go to 4th grade math, and you can see that our curriculum is organized into units, and there's a timeline for the expected number of days, and it is organized by priority standards that are, we did a crosswalk between the Common Core and the PA Core so that teachers can see our priority standards along the way. And it is maintained by our classroom teachers. So each spring we do a survey to ask teachers for feedback. They can do it continuously throughout the year, but we also give them one last opportunity in the spring. And then curriculum maintenance writers work on our curriculum to update it on a yearly basis. Our math curriculum is as comprehensive as we can make it at this time. Of course, there's always room for improvement. Our curriculum is based on the scope and sequence of our priority standards. We hope that it is not just what it covers as far as the breadth, but it also goes in depth. Each unit has essential questions that align to the standards, and teachers get examples of that. They get common misconceptions, big ideas, and then the teachers have examples of I can statements so that they can make sure that students are able to articulate the learning that they have mastered.
I do believe our curriculum at Cumberland Valley is coherent. We do our best to make sure it is aligned vertically and horizontally. We also make sure that we put it in a logical sequence. We have rearranged the order of our priority standards and our units based on teacher feedback and our assessment data. We also make sure that it's in an easy to use format. Teachers are able to add resources and ideas to our unit maps. It is a document that is ongoing and fluid.
When we originally wrote the curriculum, we had our K through 8 curriculum teams in the same room, and there was vertical articulation as well as horizontal, in the sense that grade levels above and below each other looked at the priority standards and made sure that if we had to spiral any standards, that was taken care of. And then we had grade level team meetings so that the teachers knew in their grade level what the standards were, the priority standards, what the units were And the units are clearly written in the sense that when anyone ever calls me and asks me a curriculum question, whether it's a teacher or a principal, I always go to our curriculum guide, the content area, and then I look at the priority standards, and I look to see the pacing guide to make sure that they're on track, and hopefully answer any of their questions, whether it be vertical or horizontal.
In our fourth grade math curriculum, I feel the biggest deficit is our assessments. Currently we're using the assessments that were from our program, Math Expressions, and I feel that they are not rigorous enough, and they're also not delving into problem-based learning. So in my perfect world, we would be able to rewrite our assessments to make them more rigorous and more aligned to what they see on the state assessments. Additionally, if our teachers really know the standards well and have a good knowledge of what each standard means and needs to assess, we really wouldn't need a textbook. We would just be teaching each standard as it comes up in the curriculum thoroughly until our students have a mastery of that standard. Something else I'd like to change in our math curriculum would be the number of priority standards. Initially, it was written that all standards in math were a priority. There are some standards that we need to make more of a priority, such as our standards and fractions. There are some standards our students do well on from the beginning when they learn the standard, so we really don't need to make that standard a priority anymore. So I do think we have to look at prioritization also.
In fourth grade, we have seen the need to change maybe the order of our standards as far as the pacing. Some feedback we've gotten over the last 2 years is that the teachers wanted certain concepts taught earlier in the year so that they could spiral them, or use calendar math as a way to preview and review those specific concepts in math. We also have the immediate need to make our assessments more rigorous. We have found from teachers that they want to make sure that the students are being challenged to the appropriate level, not just being asked to show that they have mastered lower level skills. So we're moving towards problem-based and performance task assessments in our math curriculum.
A review of Cumberland Valley's curriculum began with an exploration of the district's data. PVOS was reviewed with a focus on the elementary level. In conjunction with district benchmark assessments, it was determined that an area in need of development lies within elementary mathematics. PVOS projections also indicated that this is an area that, if not addressed directly, will be demonstrated in the coming year's assessments as well, suggesting a potential ongoing pattern. After an analysis of proficiency levels in each grade level, a focus on needed growth was highlighted specifically in the fourth grade. Using Performance Plus as a tool, the data was further analyzed to decide what standards within fourth grade may need further review. The concept of fractions across several standards stood out as a concern. After the overall analysis of available data, the question as to what part the current curriculum plays within the results was considered.
Over the past 3 years, Cumberland Valley's curriculum has taken on a renewed focus under the leadership of our superintendent, Dr. Witham, and Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Hillary. A complete rewrite under the guidance of administration was taken on by committees of teachers. Each year, a line item in the budget guarantees that the curriculum will receive attention in the areas of scope and sequence, content, and assessment. The district's gains in ELA are a strong example of the potential of this process. Common assessments that increased exponentially in rigor resulted in dramatic changes in instructional approaches within the elementary classrooms. Another key success has been CV's implementation of Mastery Connect. This tool has held a tremendous effect on teachers' knowledge of standards and their attention on individual student progress within those standards. While Cumberland Valley's curriculum rewrite included math, further analysis suggests that the curriculum committee leaned heavily on the Math Expressions program and its corresponding assessments.
After analyzing the data, we recommend that Cumberland Valley focus on a few key areas: curriculum review and rewrite, professional development for teachers, additional instructional materials, and the addition of more rigorous performance tasks. As CV moves forward to update and improve their curriculum, the pacing will be a point of focus for realignment. While fractions were found to be an area of need after analysis of performance data, It is currently the shortest unit in the curriculum. We also recommend that Cumberland Valley review their resources and add additional materials that target this focus area. We suggest that elementary teachers district-wide be provided with professional development targeting lesson planning, differentiation, and the implementation of guided math in the classroom. With support from the intermediate unit, the teachers could receive training and on-site coaching. Teachers should also be provided with a common planning time to collaborate on lesson plans, instruction, assessments, and performance tasks. Finally, we suggest the district design more rigorous performance tasks to better gauge student learning and identify areas for remediation. These tasks should be common and align with the Common Core standards. A well-written curriculum includes standards, learning outcomes, concepts, competencies, teaching and learning equity, assessment plans, and 21st century learning skills. It is also imperative that it is a live document that is maintained and updated on a continual basis. Cumberland Valley's beliefs in a working curriculum is sure to target areas of need and foster greater student success.